Hello, this is my 7 audience. 慢慢找。Hello everyone. My topic today is study abroad. At the beginning, I want to ask you 3 questions. How many have you think study abroad is cheaper than studying in China? How many of you think overseas students have more advantages than normal students when they are looking for a job in China? How many of you think you may get a bad job if you study in China instead of studying in the US? Okay, here is a fact. There are over 1 million of Chinese students studying abroad today. Most of them prefer to find a better job when they back to China after they graduate. There are 100,000 students that are considering studying abroad and they are confused whether they should do. Personally, I prefer to study in China. Today I'm going to tell those students the 3 main reasons why you should not study abroad if you are still confused. The first and the most important reason is the economic conditions. We just knew that studying abroad is much expensive than studying in China. You probably know that it only spends 100,000 of RMB to graduate from Chinese university. On the other hand, you have to spend 10 times of money to study abroad. For example, we spend 3 more times of tuition than American students do. That is not fair. It brings a heavy financial burden to your parents. This burden is not just about tuition. Let's say, in China, we have cheap dormitory that 7 people live in 1 room, and a cheap mess hall that can offer thousands of students to eat. Those costs less than 50 RMB per day, which is equal to $10. Comparing with other countries like America, we eat at least $20 and live at least $30 every day. In another aspect, transportation cost in some of other countries is much higher than in China. We spend a lot of money to buy a car. We spend a lot to buy a higher ticket back in China every year. What's more, studying abroad, we have to buy expensive medical insurance. When you get sick, it is known that sometimes it is much cheaper if you buy a ticket back to China for cure. Instead going to the hospital direction. Next, I will show you a second reason, the quality of the education. With the development of the Chinese education, it is much better than before. Except some top universities like Beijing University, China, Tsinghua University. There are a lot of perfect universities raised in the recent years, like Human University, Sichuan University, Wuhan University, and so on. There are also a lot of successful people who never studied abroad. For example, Michael Minhongyu, who is the CEO of the New Oriental English School. He said that we can have a perfect English skill even though you don't go out of the country. And his school trained unnumbered English genius every year. So, if you want to study English abroad, you can also study in China. Many of the students are still considered that Chinese education is still worse than some of the other countries. Think about it. Education may be an important task of school, but what and how you learn completely depend on yourself. if you don't choose the right way and the right thing you learn. If you don't study hard, nobody can help you, and your future will not be changed, only be spend more money and more time abroad. The third reason why you should stay to study is unemployment situation in China. Few years ago, many strong, skilled people were attached after they graduated abroad, and the companies always offer them high salary. However, today, overseas students seem not so hot. Companies sometimes prefer to hire local students rather than overseas students. There are two reasons. Many overseas students just get a graduate certificate and no things can prove they are better than local students. I mean, the quality of overseas students is much lower than before, and they still have high expectation for pay. Another reason is that local students know well about the companies and the local situation. They can adapt to work that is in a short time. In contrast, overseas students have to spend a lot of time to transform what they learn about abroad to be useful things in their work. In conclusion, for those Chinese students who want to study abroad and beg to find a bad job, slow your steps of studying abroad and think about the points I suggested. Think about your financial situation and the advantage of the course. Think about where would be a better place studying in China. Think about what is better way for looking for a job in the future, not a piece of paper from other country. Thank you.